The most extreme weather pattern of this winter is coming and you will feel the impacts that it brings. It all begins today as significant lake effect snow will hammer areas downwind of the Great Lakes. These intense snow bands could create sudden whiteout visibility in dangerous travel conditions. The snow will not end there as yet another storm will sweep across the northern plains, Midwest and Ohio Valley, adding more travel concerns on top of an already high impact week. Even a few inches will be enough to worsen road conditions and increase the danger for anyone on the move. But all of this is just an appetizer to what is coming next. A powerful and long-lasting Arctic blast will surge over the next few days, bringing the coldest air of the season to millions. Wind chills could plummet as low as 50 degrees below zero, and actual air temperatures may drop to 30 below zero in parts of the Midwest, which would be the coldest temperatures that we've seen in 2025. This level of cold is life-threatening, and it could shatter records across multiple states. So in today's forecast, we are going to break down exactly what you need to know about this major weather pattern swing that is about to go down. And in all reality, this winter is going to be taking a major turn over the next few days. So let's talk more about it. And I want to begin with our jet stream. This is essentially what's going to be controlling our weather pattern for the next couple of weeks. And we are going to begin with what is happening over the next couple of days. Right now, we have a big dip in our jet stream all across the Midwest and through the Northeast. A large low-pressure system is currently sitting around the Great Lakes. And this is actually what is dumping snow this morning across parts of Michigan and also back through the Northeast, where even some blizzard warnings are in effect in the Appalachian Mountains and a slew of winter weather advisories in effect from Ohio and Michigan all the way back into Maine. Now, as we go later into Thursday and Friday, this dip in the jet stream is actually going to get much more intense because our upper-level winds are going to be intensifying out of the northwest. This is essentially going to be a transportation source for cold air, which means that we are going to see a bunch of cold air coming out of Canada Thursday and Friday and making its way into the northern plains. And for those in the Dakotas, Minnesota, Wisconsin, you all will be feeling this by as early as Friday as extremely cold air is going to usher into the United States. By Saturday and Sunday, we will continue to see very strong upper-level winds push tons of cold air across the Midwest, Ohio Valley, Northeast, and even back into the Mid-Atlantic where temperatures could be as much as 50 degrees per below average, so significant cold is on the way. By Sunday and Monday, this dip in the jet stream will continue for those in the Midwest and back into the Northeast. This means cold air will continue to sit in place at least through Sunday and Monday. And then by the middle of next week, we are going to see a completely different weather pattern develop which is actually going to probably surprise a lot of you. Instead of talking about all sorts of Arctic blasts, I think what's going to happen by the middle and end of next week is that we are going to see a larger ridge develop across the southeast, and this will likely end up bringing much warmer conditions to much of the United States, and we should start to see a cutoff from all that northwesterly flow that is transporting all the cold air right now across Canada into the United States. Instead, we are likely going to see more zonal flow, which would promote much more just neutral conditions across most of the country with neutral conditions. So in this case, we will likely see the return of above-average temperatures for much of the country. But with that said, we could end up seeing a winter storm or two right before Christmas. So that is definitely something that we need to keep an eye on. Now we need to talk more about exactly how cold it is going to get over the next 10 days. And I want to begin with our temperature anomalies. This is the difference from our average temperatures, and right now, we actually have a small shot of cold air making its way across the Great Lakes in the Midwest. Some areas in western Wisconsin this morning are as much as 25 to 30 degrees below average. But trust me, this is only an appetizer because as we go into Friday and Saturday, it's going to get a lot worse across those areas as we are expecting a significant Arctic blast to impact the Midwest on Saturday. Saturday, though, is not going to be the worst day. Most of you across the Midwest will be anywhere from 20 to 40 degrees below average, but which 40 sounds pretty high, but it's going to get even worse on Sunday. And if you're back along the Gulf Coast or anywhere in the desert Southwest or even in the Rockies, we're going to be dealing with above-average temperatures at least through Saturday. Sunday, that Arctic blast is going to get even more intense across the Midwest. And even look at this. We have some areas that will be near 50 degrees below average in parts of Minnesota and Wisconsin on Sunday. It is going to be extremely cold. We will likely have a few areas checking in at near negative 25 degrees for an active actual temperature. That is not the windshield. That is the actual temperature. And then further down to the south and west, this is where you guys are going to be jealous. We're going to have above average temperatures all across the Gulf Coast, in the Rockies, and also along the west coast, including California and Nevada. Eventually by late Sunday and Monday, that cold air is going to make its way into the Ohio Valley and all along the east coast. So if you're back over in Florida, you'll feel the slight effects of this Arctic blast. It will not be Arctic, though. We're talking maybe about 5 degrees below average there. And then all across the Ohio Valley, as much as 30 to 35 degrees below average Monday morning. By Tuesday and Wednesday, that cold air will continue to sit up and down the east coast. And then eventually by Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, we are going to be talking about torch moss right before Christmas. It is going to get dark. Very hot out there. Record-breaking high temperatures are in fact going to be a possibility right before Christmas. And in just a moment, we're going to talk about exactly how cold it is going to get and how much snow you could see. To put this all together, these are the actual temperatures that we are forecasting this weekend. Beginning with Friday night, temperatures will start to fall here across the Midwest and the Northern Plains, already sub-zero across North Dakota and Minnesota. It's going to get a whole lot worse as we go into Saturday morning, as those sub-zero temperatures will spread across Minnesota, Minneapolis, back towards Wasatch and Green Bay, and then back into the Northeast will be still in the 20s and 30s. Gulf Coast is going to be abnormally warm for this time of year. We're talking about 60s and near 70 degrees in Houston Saturday morning. Very warm air down there by Sunday morning. This is going to be by far the coldest morning that we've seen so far this winter. And on top of that, this could be the coldest morning of the entire year. We have not had anywhere in the United States with sub-30 degree temperatures other than very high elevations back over in northwestern Minnesota. It is going to be possibly negative 30 degrees on Sunday morning. And then back over towards Minneapolis, we're still talking about around negative 15. Wausau near negative 10. Back over in Chicago, it's only going to be 9 degrees. And then also back over in Green Bay, about negative 4 degrees to wake up. And then during the daytime, it's really not going to get a whole lot warmer. Many areas will barely get out of the zeros. We're going to be talking about extremely cold air on Sunday. And then by Monday, that cold air will start to sink further down to the south, all of Tennessee into the 20s with a hard freeze likely. And then our freezing line is actually going to reach down into the Florida Panhandle. We'll be right back. So for those that are hoping that snow melts pretty soon, it is likely going to start melting by the middle of next week. Now, if you're wondering how cold it is going to feel outside, this includes the wind. It is going to feel even worse on Saturday with wind chills as low as negative 30 degrees across northern central Minnesota, even Minneapolis at negative 24, back over in Green Bay around negative 20 and close to zero across Michigan. But Sunday morning is going to be a whole lot worse. Because we could have some areas near negative 50 degrees, including over near Fargo, North Dakota, with as low as negative 50-degree wind chills all across the Midwest as well. Iowa and also Wisconsin, widespread wind chills around 20 degrees below zero. Minneapolis near around 30 degrees below zero, and even Chicago about 10 degrees below zero. And then as we go into Monday morning, that is going to drop all the way down into the south, almost towards Jacksonville, where that freezing line, I say freezing line, will be for our feel-like temperatures. It'll actually reach down towards Mobile and then sub-zero all across the Northeast, Ohio Valley, and even across Tennessee. Many of you will be waking up to temperatures that feel like around 10 degrees. So make sure your winter jackets are ready to go. This is going to be a serious weather pattern change here over the next few days. Now let's talk more about the snow that is going to be coming to the United States. And I want to begin with our winter storm that is happening right now. We have snow that is falling from Wisconsin back through Michigan and also into New York. This is going to get a lot more widespread later this morning across Pennsylvania, with heavy snowfall likely near Erie and also near Buffalo. And then just after lunchtime, that snow is going to spread all across the Northeast, including Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, all the way back. We'll be right back. Also back over in western New York, we'll have a few little areas that will line up for some decent lake effect snow throughout the daytime on Thursday. This does not appear to be as significant as initially forecasted, but I do think if you're back over in extreme southwestern New York and northern Michigan, those will be the two areas to watch for. Also, we are going to have a decent shot of snow as we go into Thursday as well. Another clipper system is going to make its way across the northern plains, Midwest, and into the Ohio Valley. A little bit more freezing rain is possible across South Dakota. And then some snow is going to make its way across Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, and Illinois. By late Thursday and early Friday, that snow is going to spread across central and northern Illinois, including Chicago, back into Indiana and Ohio. And then by late Thursday night into early Friday morning, that snow will start to wind down as it approaches the Appalachian Mountains. But if you're in Maryland, you might actually see a little bit of snowfall on Friday back over in Washington, D.C. And then by late Friday night, early Saturday, some snow will continue across the Great Lakes in the Northeast. And another band of snow is going to set up here across parts of the northern plains that could bring more snow to parts of the Ohio Valley. And we'll talk more about that in just a moment. Now, in terms of total snowfall accumulation from this next snow event that is coming as we go into Thursday and Friday, it's not going to be anything crazy, but a widespread 1 to 3 inches of snow is likely for Minneapolis back into Chicago, just north of Springfield, Illinois, also including southern Ohio near Cincinnati. Also, Fort Wayne will likely pick up around 1 to 2 inches. If you're back over in the Northeast, that is where some significant snowfall is a possibility from lake effect snow, but we're really mostly just expecting 6 to 12 inches of snow in extreme southwestern New York, northwestern Pennsylvania, and over near Watertown, New York, and then across the Northeast we are expecting a widespread 4 to 8 inches of snow across northern New England, much of upstate New York as well, likely picking up upwards of even 12 to 16 inches of snow in some spots, and then back over again in western New York, that is where some significant lake effect snow is possible over the next 48 hours. Now, as we go into this weekend, we are expecting a little bit more snowfall Friday into Saturday to make its way across the Great Lakes and the Northern Plains. Eventually, by late Saturday into early Sunday, very light snow will make its way across the Ohio, maybe another inch or two of snow in some locations. And then eventually as we go into Monday and Tuesday, high pressure builds all across the eastern tier of the United States. Heavy rain and snow will continue in the Pacific Northwest. But as of right now, no big winter storms are in the forecast beyond the next few days. That could change though by the middle and end of next week. There are at least some minor signals right now that snow could return.